Gujarat Technological University welcomes all the listeners and the viewers. My name is Imran Khan. I am an assistant professor in English, Om Engineering College, Junagadh. First of all, I show my sincere regards for the Honorable Vice Chancellor who initiated such a very fruitful project for the students of diploma engineering courses. I am very thankful and very grateful that I am going to be the part of this huge project for the fourth time. And today our topic is very important, and today I am going to deliver my lecture on language learning, wherein our topic is language, literature and learning. In the title itself there are three important terms. So in the beginning of my discourse I would mention few very important terms which will rather improve our discussion, and in the process of exploring the meanings of these three important words or rather terms, many doubts, many ambiguities, many confusions, many misconceptions which do exist in the minds of students as well as teachers, they will be removed. Let us have a look of the PPTs. In the very first stage of the discourse, there are certain questions. The question number one is, what is language? This is a question that will rather design the entire discussion. Second language is the counter question. Second question is in fact the counter question, that can language be ever taught and how? If language can ever be taught, what are the certain ways of learning? What are the certain methods of learning language? Question number 3 is, or rather statement number 3 is, language and science versus language is science. So you can see there are two phrases. First is language and science. So there is a comparison between language and science. In contrast to this, there is a statement that language is science. We will discuss how it is so. Next is, what is literature, wherein we will discuss the terminology of the word literature, its etymology, its significance, and most of all its relation with language and language learning. The next question is language and literature, wherein we will be comparing in fact the two words, what is language, what is literature, and what is the relation between language and literature. And the last but not the least, that is language learning. That is of course our today's topic also, that is challenges and solutions. There are certain challenges, there are certain problems, there are certain obstacles in learning language, wherein we will also have to understand and look at whether is there any method or methodology of learning, what is learning, how can a person learn a particular language. So there we will discuss certain very significant aspects and factors of language as well as its learning. Let us move on. Here again, the very first statements is characteristics of language. Here I would like to quote the first sentence of the book English Language, written by C.L. Rain. He is a scholar, he is a linguist. What he has said in his book, in the very first chapter, he has said is, language is an expression of human personality, either written or spoken form. It means that everybody knows what language is, but it would be very difficult when one tries to define what language is. What C.L. Rain has said in his statement is very true, that language represents person's personality. Language is something that makes person's personality, and rather the word personality again is very confused. There are many confusions, there are many ambiguities residing in the term personality. We will discuss this particular point further. Here, as you can see on your screen, there are certain characteristics of language. But what is the reason of showing these characteristics? Dr. D.V. Jindal, in his book Linguistics, he has said that the question what is language is exactly like asking what is life. Everybody knows what life is, but it will be very difficult, it will be very tough to define the word life or life. Similarly, everyone knows what language is, but when one tries to define language, it will be very difficult. But if we say, for instance, if we show certain characteristics of life, for example, what life is will be very difficult, but what life has, what are the characteristics life holds, if we try to mention those characteristics, it will be very easy to understand what life is. Similarly, here are certain characteristics. Let us look at one by one. The first is means of communication. How language is a means. Here by means we mean medium or the way. The second characteristic of language is it is arbitrary. That also we will discuss. The third characteristic is language is a system of systems. It means language is interdisciplinary. We will discuss in the next few slides how it is so. The second is the next characteristic is it is devised by humans only. It means language is a technology. So we will understand how language is a technology. We will understand how language is devised by humans only and it is utilized by humans only. The next characteristic is language is a social setup. It means that language simply links us, it simply rather associates us with the society. And the last characteristic is language is a symbol system. So there are certain symbols, there are certain signs which actually design language or which actually make a language. And a very important point is that when we say language, we do not actually discuss or we do not actually focus on a particular language. Not only English language, not only Gujarati language, not only Sanskrit language. We are right now discussing the word language in general. So these are certain characteristics of a language. Actually there are many characteristics, but we have sorted out certain very important and very significant characteristics so that we can in fact come to know what language is and how it works. In the next slide you can see the process of communication. When we say the first characteristic that language is a means of communication, here there is a process. As we know that communication process is actually a psychological phenomena. As you can see in the figure, there is a source. This word source is very interesting. We will understand the word source in the next few slides in detail, but when we say it's a source, we mean it is a source of information or it is a source of message. It means that it is mind where the message is residing, where the message lies, and it is mind that is the source of message or any information. For example, whatever right now I am talking, whatever right now I am saying, my words are in fact in form of idea residing in my mind. What I simply do is I give the form of words or sounds to my words and my ideas, and I try to send my message to you. So this is how the process of communication works. So there is an idea in the mind, it will take in form of message. Then you can read a word encoding. There are two words. Number one, it is encoding. Number two, it is decoding. Simply to encode means to explain. When somebody explains something, either in form of words or in form of picture, in form of painting, in form of dancing, in form of music, anything, the nature of explaining may be anything, but the thing is, the process of explaining, the process of representing, the process of showing something or indicating something will be encoding. So here when we say encoding, what we actually mean is, we simply mean that person represents, person explains his ideas through words. That is called encoding. And through encoding, the idea will turn into a message. That message will travel from one mind to another mind through a channel. To explain channel, I will give very simple example. If a person wants to go from one bank to the another bank of a river, there are two possible ways. Either a person can swim and go to another bank, or a person can use a boat. So boat or swimming, there will be the medium. But if the river has no water, person can neither swim nor person can use boat, because there is no channel, there is no water. Similarly, if you have words, if you have idea, if you have message, if you have a concept clear in your mind, but until and unless you do not have proper channel, you do not have proper medium, you cannot actually communicate, or you cannot actually send your message to the receiver. Then move on, there will be decoding, the process of decoding. The process of decoding means the process of understanding. The process of communication will not be complete without the proper response. It means that whatever the person speaks, there must be proper response, there must be proper reaction of that particular message. Until and unless the listener or the receiver will not, give the proper feedback to this particular communication or the words, the process of communication will be incomplete. So therefore, this process of communication is very important. As in the slide or in this picture, you can see that there is a process of communication being shown. There are two people, two persons. One is a sender, or you can say encoder. On the other hand, you can see there is a receiver, or you can say decoder. There is a lady who is asking a question: which way to the restroom? Now just pay attention that this question is called verbal communication. There are two types of communication, or rather we can say forms of communication: verbal communication and non-verbal communication. So verbal communication means something that happens through words, with the help of words, and non-verbal communication is something that happens without the help of words or without words. There will be certain examples given that we will see, and we will understand how these two types of communication happen. So here you can see that there is a channel also, there is a feedback also. Until and unless person will not give feedback, the process of communication will be incomplete. So in this process of communication, the process will be complete only and only if a receiver will give response. But if receiver is not able to give proper response or complete response, there will be certain reasons. Those reasons can be psychological, those reasons can be organizational, they can be social, they can be educational, they can be conceptual, they can be linguistic, they can be grammatical. What I simply mean is that these all reasons will play a role as a barrier that will disturb the process of communication. There are so many other reasons of the poor communication or the communication gap. Now please understand this particular picture. First, what is said in this picture is that both encoder and decoder must be sharing the same code of signal. Now what do we mean by same code of signal or symbol? That is language. Simple example is, if I say tree, so in my mind as well as in your mind, there is a same image of tree available, because I know what is called tree or which object is called tree. Similarly, you also know which object is called tree. Similarly, if I use the Gujarati word vruksh, or I use the colloquial Gujarati word that is jhad, so again you understand what do I mean by vruksh, because the image of vruksh, or in English as we say the image of tree, is very very clear in my mind, I mean to say in the mind of speaker, as well as in your mind, I mean in mind of listener. So if the image of the same object is available in the minds of speaker as well as listener, communication will happen. So if I say tree, you understand what do I mean. If I say vruksh, you understand what do I mean. If I say ped, you understand what do I mean. If I say darakht, if you know what darakht is, it is an Urdu word. So if you know what darakht is, you will understand what do I mean. But if you do not know what darakht is, there will be no image in your mind. I mean, nothing will come as a picture in your mind. If I say apple, so there is a particular image of apple will come in your mind. If I say an elephant, so the last image of elephant will automatically come in your mind. That is a psychological process, that what the last image of a particular object you have seen, that will automatically be coming to your mind when you listen the particular word. This is the power of language. Right now we are discussing the simple characteristics of language, that is the process of communication, and wherein language plays a very important role. It means that process of communication can certainly happen without the use of words, but when we use words, it will become easier. Let us move on. So here is an analysis. Please pay attention to this particular analysis. What does this analysis explain? Analysis says us that in the process of communication, language becomes the medium through which idea travels from one mind to other. But it can certainly travels even without language. It means that when we communicate, when we talk, there is an idea available in our mind, so that idea will take a form of words through language.